Good day, colleagues. This video is going to showcase how to create a test on Blackboard Ultra from the questions that are on your question banks, which we formerly known as pools. So after you've logged into your Blackboard, you click on the course where you are going to upload your test. As we are using the learning modules for assessments, you can either have a learning module that says assessments, where you will have inside it a folder that says assignments and a folder that says test and exams. That will be where your all assignments would be on the assignment folder, or where all your tests and exams would be on the test folder. Or you can have a learning module that says assignment and test. So creativity depends on you. In this case, let me use the learning module that says test to upload the test that I will create from the question banks. You click on the learning module to open it. Inside the learning module, you will find the plus sign. Then you click on that plus sign, and then you click on the create button. After you've clicked on the create, so you scroll down to assessments, and then you click on test. When you clicked on test, by default, it comes with a name. So you give the test name. So I will just say test 1. So that's the test name. And then after you've named your test, test 1, for you to be able to start creating your assessments, you need to select on this plus sign icon to get started. You click on the plus sign so that you can start adding or uploading or creating the type of questions that you want. These are all the question types that we have on the Blackboard system. And then now, this one we want to create a test from the question banks, which is the question pools. So you will click on add question pool. From add question pool, you will get to see all the pools that you have on the question banks in this side, in this case. So you will click on the question bank that you want to select questions from. So this question bank, these or question pool, these are the test questions that are here. So you select the questions that you want to use for this test that you are creating. So I will just click on the questions that I want to use for this particular test in this example. So as I click, the number of questions are being added. So I've selected 5 questions from this pool. So you can open another pool, and then it will also open its other questions, and then you can select from the other pool as well the questions to be added in your test. So these are the 5 questions that I have selected, and then I click on add questions. After I've clicked on add questions, these are the number of questions that will be displayed to the students. And then you can see these are the questions. You can be able to view the questions when you are done the setting here to see the questions that you have selected. On the points, you can change your point, but here it changes for each question. So each question of mine will be out of 2. After I've changed the points, and then you can click on the save button. So when you've clicked on the save button, now you will be able to view the number of questions or the questions that you have selected from that pool that you have selected. You can add more questions into this question pool or this test that you are selecting or creating from this pool. So there is the tests. These are the questions that I've created or I've taken from that question bank. So now these are the test settings. You click on the gear here so that you can be able to set your test settings. When is the due date of the test? So this test is going to be due on, for example, they are writing the test tomorrow. So I'm creating the test today. So the test is going to be due tomorrow, the 29th, but you select the date as your preference. So the 29, what time will the test be due? Okay, my test can be due at 2 p.m. That's it. So my test will be due tomorrow at 2 p.m. I will prohibit the late submissions, and I will display 1 questions at the time. I will randomize. These are the normal test settings that we normally do. And then the category is a test. How many attempts? They write it once. I am using grades, percentage instead of points. The number of points are out of 10. And then you come to the assessment grade. The assessment grade, that is where you are now posting your assessments automatically, which means now for the students to be able to receive their marks, they must be posted. The lecturer must click on post so that the students can be able to receive their mark on the other hand. But you can also select this option so that after you have done, the students have taken their assessments, the marks will be posted automatically for them to be able to have access to their marks. Now we scroll down on the submissions view, question scores, correct answers. So after you're in the submission view, when do you want to allow the students to have access to their assessment results? So all of those you choose after submission, after all grades have been posted, or after individual grade is posted. It depends on you. So all these options, they depend on you. So you will read, do you want to show question scores? Do you want to show correct answers? Let's show correct answers so that students can also see which answer they put incorrectly instead of the correct answer. This will assist the students as a revision process as well. So you must show the correct answer when you decide by clicking on the drop down arrow after the individual grade, after all the grades have been posted, or on a specific date. So you decide, or you can immediately show it's grades and the specific date. So you choose on those options. After you have chosen all the assessment options, then you click on the save button. These are the options that we have set. If you have an access code, you can click on the access code and then you type the code that you will, sort of a password that you will give the students that will be writing this test. This code, it doesn't go with Honologue. So if you are not using Honologue, but you want to have them controlled by using the password so that they can be able to be controlled in order to access that test, so you can use the access code. So if you are using Honologue, then this is where you configure the Honologue proctoring settings. So the time limit, this is where you add the time limit. The hour is, the time is 60 minutes or 30 minutes. It depends on what your time limit is. And then after that, you can write a description. The description is a test. And then the last button is submit. So after you have submitted, so this is the test that you have created for your students. So when you close, you can see here is your test under the learning module test. The test is hidden from the student. So this test is due on the 29th of September, the 29th of February at 2 p.m. But when do you want the students to have access to the test? Do you want the students to have access to the test at 1 p.m. and all that stuff? When you want, there are two ways. If you want to have access to this test, students to have access to the test at 1 p.m., so by 1 p.m., you will click on visible to students so that test by 1, it will be shown to the student side. That one is done manually. You click by that time you want the test to be shown to them. Or you can use the release condition. The release condition, that is whereby now you say, I want this test to be visible to them at this time so that you don't do it manually. So you click on the release condition when you want it to be automated. You click on the date and time. Then you click on show. When do you want the test to be shown to student? You look at the calendar. The test must be shown to the student at this date and then what time. The test is 60 minutes. The due date is 2 p.m. So which means your test must appear to the student by 1 p.m. By 1 p.m. So you show, you set your timer here, which is 1 p.m. So now this test will be shown to the students at this time. Mind you, the due date is 2 p.m. So at 2 p.m., this test must be finished by the students. So you can also choose the hide after. So now we have just chosen the show on. This test must be visible to them at this time on this date. And then the hide after, then the hide after must be after the due date. So the hide after, you can choose the same time, 29 of September, 29 of February, 29, and then 29 February. Where is February? 29 February. And then, as it says, the hide after date must occur after the due date. So the time, the due date is 2 p.m. So you can set your timer here to be 2:01 so that it allows you to access the due date time that you have set. So when you have set this, so which means this test will be visible from the student side at 1 p.m. and then the due date of this test is 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., this test 201 will be hidden from the student side. So this is when the test will be appearing from the student side. Then the last button will be the save button. So there is the release condition. So here is your test is created, but that test has that release condition, which will be accessible tomorrow at that date that you have set. But if you want your test to be visible now so that you can see from your student side, if the test students can see the test, you make the test visible, and then it will override the release conditions. So there is your test, it has been created. So you can go to student preview and then you start to preview your test so that you can see what will your students see on the other side when they are about to take your test. So this is where they will click, the test will be there, then they will start writing the test. They will see the settings and then they will click on start attempt. They will start the timer and then this is how the test will appear on their side. As we have activated that one question at a time, so the students will move to the next question so that the student can answer all 5 questions. After the student has answered all the 5 questions, then the student will click on the submit button. This is how we create a test, colleagues, from the pool that we have created or from the question banks that we have created on the Blackboard Ultra platform. I thank you.